being provided with this opportunity to talk about issues that are very important for us as a company. So my name is Camilla Goldbeck-Löwe, and I work as the VP Corporate Responsibility, driving the sustainability work in the company. And Anders, maybe you would like to introduce yourself also?
Yes, my name is Anders Hedqvist. I'm the Vice President R&D for the underground part of Epiroc.
So before we kick off, we always have a safety share. So it's important that, especially in these Corona times, make sure that you wash your hands, keep social distancing, and stay home if you have any symptoms. And then let us focus on what we are going to be talking about here today. We will be sharing the 4 focus areas of how we work with the integration of sustainability and corporate responsibility issues at Epiroc. We will tell you a little bit about our newly developed long-term 2030 sustainability goals. We will also share some of our experience with stakeholder engagement and collaborations in hopefully some innovative ways that can inspire you as well. And I would love to have a discussion on that note, because I think that is so important these days, that you can't alone solve the problems that are facing the world, but you actually need to work in collaborative forms over many different boundaries. And then we will hear Anders share some of how we integrate the sustainability in our product, services, and business operations. Just a quick reminder of who we are. I'll try to get this away so we don't have to see all of this. There we go. So we are a company providing drill rigs, rocks excavation, and construction equipment. We have about 76% in the mining sector and 24% infrastructure. We also have services to enhance productivity. We have solutions for automation and interoperability. And we say that we are a startup, which is a bit odd since we are having a 147-year-old history, being part of Atlas Copco until 2018. We have about 14,000 employees, and we have customers in plus 150 countries around the world. Sustainability for us is really all about making sure that we have innovative, safe, and sustainable solutions to increase productivity. We want to make sure that we leverage innovation to achieve environmental and safety gains. We want to make sure that we have the right people and building a respected brand and reputation. And of course, observing the highest safety and environmental standards is extremely important for us as well. And also having a strong ethical compass to guide our decisions. And this is basically how we then divide our work into 4 areas. And I'm sure that this is quite familiar to many of you. We have highest ethical standards. We do invest in safety and well-being, the people part, the red one, and then we have resources responsibly and efficiently being used. And of course, we have targets in place for this. And to the right-hand side, you can see an extract from our last annual report, where we do publish the highlights of our results in these 4 areas. And we have also mapped them against the Sustainable Development Goals that you can see on the bottom. And for us, we have decided to pick the 8 goals where we see that we can have the greatest impact and where we can contribute the most. So these are the goals that you will see. And I will come back to a little bit more on that note as well. And of course, it's all well to have targets in place and making sure that you reach them. But we are firmly believing that in order to reach those goals, you have to be doing a lot of different activities to make sure that you keep a good track record and that you actually achieve high set goals. And these are just some examples of them. And starting with the highest ethical standards, here we have of course a code of conduct in place, and through this year we have been doing updates, and this will be rolled out next year. As most likely many of you also have a Speak Up tool, which is an anonymous whistleblower tool that we launched last year and rolled out in the company 2019. So we will continue to be working with that. We have something where we call responsible sales assessment, where we look at where we are selling and challenges in certain markets. And we also have a business partner criteria letter. And this is the way that we ensure that our business partner suppliers, agents, resellers, and distributors are adhering to our code of conduct and making sure that those standards are also replicated throughout our value chain. Looking at passionate people and courageous leaders, here we have in 2019 a newly established diversity and inclusion board, because we have set quite tough targets 2030 going forward to increase gender diversity and the number of women in the company, because this is a challenge, not only for us, but for the industry in total. So to drive that development and in order to make sure that we reach that goal, we have a new diversity and inclusion board that has been established. And they will be driving targets, they will making sure that we have the right activities, and they will also serve as ambassadors, because these are many people from the senior management that are part of this diversity and inclusion board. And for women, we also have a specific female mentorship program targeting women leaders and making sure that we cater for them. And for all employees, we have employee surveys to make sure that we measure the temperature in the company. We have Epiroc University, which is containing a lot of different really good trainings that are available for all staff. And we also have a number of different management trainings. Then activities for safety and well-being. We will continue to roll out Safe Start, a program that is very much focusing on our behavior and making sure that we behave safe while at work, but also, like you were presenting before, in your spare time, when you're driving, for example. This was launched last year, and we will continue to roll this out also during 2020 and 21 and 22. We also have a live work elimination project that's launched, also looking at elimination of incidents. We have a continued focus on zero work-related injuries and implementation of safety commitments, just to mention some examples in this area. And when it comes to resources, we will come back. Anders will be talking about this, but it's really all about making sure that our CO2 emissions, both in our own operations and our own transport, are being halved, but also making sure that the use phase, when you are using our equipment, that we're also lowering the emissions there. But we will come back to that. Then turning in, that was very quickly what we do in the area of sustainability. And what we did also during the end of last year and early this year was that we decided that we wanted to have a longer term goal for our work with sustainability. So we decided to establish 2030 goals, and these were launched this summer. Am I unmuted?
Yes, we can hear you now.
You can hear me now, okay, good. So in that process, we did this Materiality Matrix to make sure that when we did these longer term goals, that they were also aligned to where are really the key issues for us. And as you can see here, you have business ethics, including corruption, product safety and safety, human rights, and CO2 emission from products being some of the key issues that we should continue to focus on. And this has then, of course, also impacted our goals. And what are they then? There we go.
There we go.
So it's very much about the people part. We want to make sure that we have no work-related injuries. We want to double the number of women in an operational roles, and this will be a challenge. And then we will also walk the talk, making sure that our code of conduct is being adhered to. And then halving the CO2 emissions in operations, in transport, but also the scope 3 emissions, meaning products. And for suppliers. So this will be key going forward for us. And I'm sure that we will have a lot of discussions on climate targets in this workshop coming. So I'll be happy to come back to this. Also, when we then talk about how we work with other stakeholders and also with the Sustainable Development Goals, we launched internal SDG ambassadors last year. And we did this in order to raise the knowledge about them in the company and also drive change going forward, like a warm-up for our newly adopted 2030 goals. So this is senior management and some selected people that then got appointed to one goal each. And they are to drive this and they are to share how they do that internally in the organization via articles, via different initiatives and so on. So they report back on a regular basis in the company to create some buzz around the SDGs. We are also part of something called the Swedish Leadership for Sustainable Development. And this is a collaboration we have together with the Swedish International Development Agency. And on the right-hand side, you can see a lot of quite prominent Swedish companies from all different parts of the industries, actually, that are part of this. And for us, it's been a very good fora to share sustainability issues, how you can work, how you can learn from other sectors. For example, the clothing industry are really having a lot of interesting water products. Can we learn from their knowledge? The ICT sectors, they have a lot on privacy issues. Can we learn from their sectors? So this has been a lot of really good initiatives and also led to a couple of public-private partnership where we go in as a company, but also SIDA goes in with public money, state money. So this is really interesting, and I'd love to share more on this note as well. Let's turn to Anders and sharing experience on our product services. Please, Anders.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to speak a bit about how we do then in R&D and how do we integrate sustainability in our way of working and what we then can offer. And traditionally, we very much has in the past focused very much on the downstream area, technology-wise in terms of after treatment devices and things like that. We want to drive it from being reactive to active. And working with technology, it has been traditionally seen as a bad thing in many cases, but now technology is an enabler to make this happen. And in technology is one thing, and innovation is another one. And in Epiroc, we have 3 core values that we are very proud of and breathing 24/7. And innovation is one of these 3. And innovation is really crucial in order to integrate the sustainability. Next. And this is a graph or picture we use internally here and to demonstrate how we see innovation as a driver. Traditionally, you might think of innovation like you take one kind of product and make a new version of it, product innovation that increases the growth part. You can also have new services coming in an innovative way, but also the way you're working. Let's say we call it an operation excellence, that it can increase the safety and efficiency for us. And then this is a way of seeing also for the customer and all this area, product innovation, new services and operation excellence. You can, by using innovation, drive sustainability. We used to have the term innovation in everything you do. So it's not only about the technologies and everything you do. Next. I will touch base on 2 areas today, and zero emissions. That's the vision about the future in mining, and to some extent it's already here. And for us, in order to enable that one, we are focused on electrification. Electrification as such has been used in mining industry since decades, and but we're now talking about a fully electrified mining operation with 0 emissions. And of course, there see a lot of values into this one related to sustainability and health and safety, environmental aspects, etc. Next. And one area we're focusing very much is then to electrify our complete offering. And we have decided to go all in terms of battery-equipped gears. We are now in the second generation of products launched to the market since some time. And we use different kind of battery setups. We have designed a modular setup with cells, traditional cells built into modules, built into sub-packs and packs. And the ambition with this one is that we want to state that we can have produced the world's greenest machines using the world's greenest cells, producing the world's greenest metals, doing the best for our planet. And this is a bold statement, but in order to do that, as you can also think of batteries, maybe not the cleanest way to produce them. So for us, it's been very important to choose the right partner to produce these cells and equipments then. Next. Next, yes. As you saw on Camilla's there, we have had a 2030 statement that we want to halve the CO2 emissions from the complete offering we have. Is that feasible? Yes, it is. If you compare, there are different means to do that, and electrification is a very important part of it. If you compare traditional, let's say, diesel-driven machine with a battery powered. In specific application-specific product, you can have up to 70% lower energy consumption doing it fully electrical. And going by battery, it's stated that the CO2 content in the battery is estimated to be less than 5% of the total impact of a diesel machine. And so that's at least what we can achieve there. And by choosing even greener supply chain of battery, you can have a close to zero setup then. So this is a way of reaching the targets for our goals, and we see the direct values, but there are also other values for the customer in this area. Next. By going electrification, this is an example of the battery mine truck NT42 we have from use cases used. And one obvious thing as an operator is talking about is the noise level. It's a significant reduction of noise and also vibration. So I speak to operators saying that nowadays I come home to my family in the evenings and I feel less tired. There's less noise. Less heat coming up, so up to 86% reduction of heat, then no fumes. And looking on the energy consumptions there, if you do it smart, you can have about up to 20% of the energy that is needed by region. Use the mine layout in a smart way. And you can also design it so you have the most of the energy used for traction purposes. Next. So the future is electric. Yes, the statement is already here. So we have different areas we are focusing on to enable that further. Customer solutions, meaning that we will offering a complete product portfolio with new customer solutions, fully electrified. We are continuously developing the technology and use the benefits of electrification by using new type of drive lines. We can create a completely new machine layouts, more efficiently used. There are different solutions like trolleys, hybrids, and there's a continuously development of battery cell efficiency that will benefit the operation, of course. But it's more than batteries. We're also working with the business modules and financial setups like battery as a service. We see an increased demand and value of conversion kits, meaning that if you have a used fleet of machines, you can convert it into battery in a quicker way, make fully electrified mines. The batteries can then be also used for a second life in stabilizing the grid of a mine. And there are different means of using that one. And last but not least, how to create a fully electrified mine operation. That's very important that because if you have a brownfield project, you can support investment to have an infrastructure support for that one. But if you're in greenfield, we can be part in the very early stage then to mine layout for electrification operation. Then. Next. Electrification might be an obvious thing in terms of sustainability, but there are also other areas that have an impact in this area.
That makes sense.
And that's automation and information management. And we can all share that there's a shift coming now in our industry for more intelligent mining and take the values of that one. And the first thing we come to mind is that it's driven by the need for high productivity and lower cost. But there's also a number of sustainability value in this area as well that comes with it. And we see definitely a big increase in acceleration in this journey, including digitalization, driven by the COVID. That has been very interesting to see how innovation has been booming due to that one. Next. So how to go about it then? The traditional way is to have, let's say, one machine approach, isolated without dependencies, to see it as single blocks. But we all need to go into more a process approach that is an important enabler to drive sustainability. Because everything is linked in a mine operation. What you see in the picture here is a principal graph where you can have an open pit continuous with an underground mine operation. You have a process plant, you have a transportation, etc., etc. And this might be seen as obvious, but there's definitely a lot of untapped potential in here, also for the mines that consider themselves to be very modern. We can see a lot of untapped potential that we can increase the value for the customers. And the way we're doing it, we have decided to have an open system and using standards in this business to be as open as we can be, because every customer is unique. And we need them to work very close with the customers and use different kind of partner setup to make the optimum setup, and that drives then the product innovation and customization. So we used to say that our goal is to make the customer's value chain and operations smarter, safer, and seamless. And also here we can see concrete values. We have a use case that we can see a 30% increase in drill meters in the boomer application when you have automation and terror mode. We have we call it the 6 sense improvement project, meaning in analyzing the bottlenecks, improving process just by sharing data and viewing the operation. It increased the productivity by 20%. By using ventilation on demand, you have a 50% less energy used in ventilation, etc., etc. Next. It's not one solution that will do this trick. It's a buffet of solutions, because every operation is unique, and it's important to have more optimized. And we used to say that we're using 3 building blocks. We have connectivity. Connectivity is a basic to create the data, because data is the real asset and value driver in this one. We have the information management part, which can be everything from an iPad with a small BI solution to a complete control room. And then, of course, we have the automation part in various aspects. Next. And automation is a very broad spectrum of automation activities. It can be an onboard operator assist function. It could be a tele-remote. Next level could be a single automation, and you see stepwise. This is just an example. And depending on the need and the value you see, you can have it up to also include the AI into it. And it goes very much automation and information management hand in hand here. So say 1 + 2 is 4 in this case, if you see it like that one. And next. This is an example of a fleet automation project we have performed. It's in Australia. We have the application. Together with customer, we identify what can be done here. We establishing the system in place together with the customer. It's everything from operation station, control room, safety system, traffic management system, including different kind of gears in this one. But that's only the tools, because the big thing is happening when you're using this in the way you're working. And to review and work with, we call it the 3-part: insight, control, optimize, leading to new insight, control, optimize. So the values comes from using the technologies and optimizing the way you're working. So it's no one single magic trick. It has to be a holistic approach. You have to be consistent and use the data the operations can bring, and that creates the building blocks. And we're working for R&D for 25 years in this company. It's fantastic new times coming, what technology can bring here. It can bring a much more sustainable way of working for us as a company, but definitely also for our customers. So creates efficiency, less energy use, increased capacity, and a better health of the people working in this environment. Back to you, Camilla.
Thank you. And I'll just summarize and then hand over to Monica again. Reporting is also obviously very important, that you're transparent around how you work with sustainability. And we have quite a lot of information in the annual and sustainability report for the company. We have GRI index and UN Global Compact that we also report according to. And already from day one, we decided that we will include some of the key sustainability KPIs also in our quarterly reports, so that you can actually follow, just like the financial results, you can also follow our sustainability results throughout the year. And finally, just wanted to share our chosen community engagement project as well. We have quite a bit of different, we are a very decentralized organization, so it's very much up to the different companies in the different countries to choose what they want to engage with. But we have as a company the Water for All that was started already in the 80s, a long time ago by Atlas Copco and Epiroc employees at the time. And we have more than 50 water and sanitation projects around the world, and it has helped more than 180,000 people in total. And it's all about access to clean drinking water, sanitation, and hygiene. And you can read more on that website if you are interested. So I will stop there and hand over back to you. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, we are so happy to take them.
Perfect. Thank you, Camilla and Anders.
Dominica, I see we've got a question right here in the chat. So from Anna, are your electric product solutions also autonomous?
It's like a question for me then. Some of them are. Everyone is prepared for automation. And as I mentioned, there are different levels of automation modes. So we have automated functions, and it can be everything up to a complete mixed traffic management system.